everybody. Welcome to the day's live lunch break. My name's Mary Beaker. I'm an arts and culture writer at The Day. I'm subbing in today for Rick Coster. He's usually here. He's our music writer. So this is my first time doing this. We do this every week. We stream live and we meet a band and have them play and interview them, and it's a good time. And today we have the Balkun Brothers. They are a band from Hartford. We have Nick and Steve. And I guess we would classify them as psychedelic blues rock. So it's pretty cool. It's really fun, and they're really awesome. And I guess we'll take it from there. All right.
Good afternoon. Let's rock and roll.
To the sky, I see my reflection in the sun, and I know there's something bigger than me. Come up, gonna change my perspective. I know I gotta go, I gotta leave, yeah. Brand new rocket, yeah, yeah, yeah. Brand new rocket, oh, yeah. So I'll float up high, you see what I see, yeah. You know, go to the ship, and take me anywhere I wanna go. Open my eyes, I can't believe it. I know I gotta go, I gotta leave here. Brand new rocket, yeah, yeah. Brand new rocket, oh yeah. Yes, I'm gonna go.
Hey, thanks. That was called New Rocket. This is a thing called Thursday. Since it's Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Written by a great band called Morphine. Kick it, brother. Every Thursday in the afternoon for a couple of beers, yeah, win a game of pool.
a motel across the street. Yeah, the name of the motel was a wagon wheel. Oh! She said, come on, why don't you come on back to my house? You know my husband is out of town, he'll be gone till the end of the month. Well, I'm nervous, I could never really quite relax. I was never really quite sure when her husband was coming back. One of neighbors, yeah, they saw my car. And they told she told me, I think I know who you are. Well, her husband's a violent man, a very violent and jealous man. Now I gotta leave this town, I gotta leave while I still can. Yeah. Thursday in the afternoon. Yeah, for a couple of beers, oh, now, in a game of pool. You should have kept it every Thursday in the afternoon. For a couple of beers in a game of pool. Well, she was pretty good, too.
I think it. Been traveling across the land now. Got my suitcase in my hand. Well, I've been on the road for such a long damn time. No, I only got one thing on my mind. I'm going home, yeah. Lord, I'm going home. I'm going home, yeah. Lord, I'm going home. Yeah, I'm going home. Lord, I'm going home. Yes, I'm going home. Let's go. Moving fast and now fast as I can. Gotta get back to the girl me loving me. Well, I've been on a car, on a bus and a train. Well, I ain't gonna stop till I see that girl again. Yes, and love knows. Whoa, it's been too long, too damn long, too damn long. Oh, yes, I'm coming for you, darling. I'm coming home. Coming home. Moving fast for a million miles, met a million faces at a million trials. Well, been on a road for a long damn time. No, I only got one thing on my mind. I'm going home, yes sir. Lord, I'm going home. Moving home, yeah. Lord, I'm going home. Yes, I'm going home. Well, I'm going home. Yeah, I'm going home. Let's go. All right, that's called Too Damn Long. Shall we do a new one or?
Yeah. You guys want the new ones?
That was an older one, but. get high. Oh yeah. I ain't telling no lies. Yeah, I wanna get high. Yeah, in the morning when I roll out of bed, I ain't got but one thing rolling through my head. I want to get high. Don't wanna get high. I am telling no lie. Yeah, I want to get high. When I go out in the evening, yeah, I want to get drunk. Go down to the bar now, stankin' like a skunk. Say, bartender, give me some whiskey. Now pour me a double. I'm out tonight, love. Start a little trouble. I want to get high. Yeah, I want to get high. I am telling no lie. Yeah, I want to get drunk. I want to get high. Go home in the evening, yeah, real late at night. Well, I'm gonna see my good loving woman. I don't want no fussing and fighting. When I get home, she's fast asleep. Yeah, the clock read 2:15. Ain't nothing left to do but sit alone and smoke a little green. I wanna get high. Yeah, I wanna get high. Telling no lie. Yeah, I wanna get high. I am telling no lie. I wanna get drunk. I wanna get high, yeah. I am telling no lie. Yes, I want to get high.
Grazie.
All right, that was a boot stomping good time.
That's it.
Okay, I remember when I sat down that I forgot to mention where we are. We're at the Telegraph record shop, and thank you to Rich Martin back there for having us. Okay, so I'm the type of person that when I'm listening to music, I feel like I more either groove to it or I don't, and I don't really analyze what's going on. So that's maybe not the best thing when interviewing a rock band, but
It's all about the groove anyway.
Yeah, we're just gonna roll with it anyways. Okay, what I love about you guys is that you're from Hartford, and I feel like maybe first impression, if no one knew where you were from, they would think you're from like Austin, Texas, or
Right on.
or I don't know, Nashville. I don't know, something like that. But you're from
for
Hartford.
sure.
So I'm kind of wondering how you got into this type of music. And also I want to just make sure you guys are, in fact, brothers, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you
Yes.
grew up with each
Do
other.
we need to do a DNA test or something?
Yes, we are, in fact, from the same biological parents.
Okay.
That's my brother Steve.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to introduce the
We
two.
were sent down from the same planet.
Okay.
We've been spending our whole lives together.
So this is
But
Nick.
yes, from Hartford. I'm Nick.
Yeah,
That's
this is
I'm
Steve.
Steve.
All right, so how did you guys get into music? When did you decide you wanted to be a band? How did this all come about?
Well, we were exposed to a lot of music as youngsters from our parents and our older brother, and we were always into art and music and creating things. But we got into playing in high school, and I picked up the guitar first, and then Nick came along a few years later playing the drums, and somewhere along the line we figured out that we could play together.
It was a long line.
Yeah.
Because we didn't ever expect to be a band. Steve went to Berkeley in Boston and had a whole bunch of other bands, and I went to UConn and I had some bands there,
Okay.
and we never played together. Steve always thought I was terrible, so it never really worked out.
I remember those days.
He still probably thinks that, but
Someday.
here we are by default. Steve went to guitar building school in Georgia and built those fancy guitars himself.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's
and
impressive.
I drove him down there, and when he came back, we put this together. I was playing with one of my best friends as kind of like a joke, and we thought if we could get Steve to join our band that we'd be a little bit better. And almost 10 years later, here we are, still jamming.
Yeah.
But we used to play at the open mics downtown Hartford, and then we just kept on going from there, booking
Okay.
lots of shows all over the place and putting out albums one after another.
Yeah, how many albums do you have so far?
We have 4 full lengths and a
Okay.
few EPs in there, and we got a couple more on the way that are in the final stages. And so we just been recording all the time in between our tour dates.
So you guys weren't always a two-person band.
Correct.
You guys have to. I didn't ask you about this before, but I don't know how you started exactly as 4-person band, 3-person band. I don't know.
Yeah, like Nick said, he was playing with one of his best friends that played bass, and they needed a guitar player, so I just would jam with
You
them
jumped in.
out of pity, and
So now
and one thing
Go
led
ahead.
to another, and it just turned into an actual serious thing, and we had many different lineups of people with other guitar players and saxophone players, and other bass players, and along the line, everybody just kept falling off or disappearing or getting sucked into black holes, and we're the only 2 left standing. So
well, you guys make it work, and that's impressive. Before we started, Steve and I were talking a little bit about his guitar, so I want you to explain that and how you function both as bass player and guitar player.
Right. Well, when we lost our bass player, we still wanted to sound, big and full, like a full band, and so I build guitars. So I started tinkering around with ideas of how to get more low end out of my guitar, and so I built this guitar, which is a baritone guitar. It's tuned lower and it has heavier strings, almost like bass strings, and I'm running I put a bass pickup in there, so it has its own bass channel and a guitar channel, and I run a guitar amp and a bass amp, and then I just use my thumb, which we call the thumb bone bass.
Thumb bone!
Thumb bone.
Can you give him a little thumb bone quick?
well, I'd have to turn it on.
Come on.
Although this is the bass right here. And so I just keep that going, and Nick hits the drums really hard, and it's sort of like an old school style of playing that the old blues guys used to do, because they would have to accompany themselves without a band, and so they would have to play the bass, the melody, and the vocal, and the rhythm all at the same time. So I'm basically just employing that style of the old Delta blues guys with the finger picking and cranking it up to 11 and hitting it hard. So
Yeah.
With some new age
And
metal.
You have you had that, I don't know what it's called, but you had something on your pinky
it's a
finger?
slide, yeah.
Slide,
it's called
okay.
a slide. That's also a trick
I
learned
like
from
I
the
like
old
what you were
masters.
doing with that.
It
Yeah.
slides up and down the strings, and
So you get a nice blues sound from that.
yeah. That's we you know, I'm really into the old blues stuff. We like all types of music, but we're very heavily influenced by the old blues.
What about it, I guess, speaks to you? Like, I feel like you guys are really feeling what you're doing, and I don't know. Why
well,
not another genre, for example?
We like all types of genres, so they work their way in there. But it just, I think when we started playing at a lot of the open jams, the places that would let us play were blues clubs, and so that's what they were playing down there. And I got really heavily into that, learning from the guys that were playing down there, and stuff like, you know, listening to Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan and stuff like that, and hearing that, and the Doors,
okay.
and these really
We were thinking Johnny Winter.
Johnny Winter for
and
sure. I got my
Cream.
Johnny Winter
Oh,
shirt on right now.
There you go.
Oh yeah, the
totally.
Allman Brothers. We were just down in Macon, Georgia, visiting the brothers.
We love
Oh,
Macon.
cool.
Macon's great.
But yeah, all that old classic rock stuff. It's all based in the blues, and it's sort of, you know, when we got turned on to that stuff, started figuring out, you know, that they were listening to Muddy Waters and Son House and Elmore James and stuff like that, and so we sort of delved into that ourselves and do our own thing with it, and
Yeah.
you know, but there's all sorts of styles that we like to listen to and work into the music.
I have another question. You guys have been touring all over the U.S., but also Europe. I want to ask, one, I used to live in Berlin, so I'm wondering if you've been there.
Yeah. We
Yeah?
Played, we
Yep.
played in Berlin. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we played at a
Years
place
ago.
called Quasimodo.
The Quasimodo.
Quasimodo. Do
It's
you remember
legendary.
which neighborhood that was in?
Oh, I don't know.
Kreuzberg?
At that point of the tour, we were very far into it. I was just glad we got to the gig.
Yeah, I was.
I don't know if I've been to Quasimodo. I'm wondering if it's in
It's a jazz
Kreuzberg
club.
Or
It was a jazz club.
okay. You remember like eastern part of the city or western?
I don't know. We
Okay,
drove
doesn't
in.
matter,
We were in
but-
a big van, and they were driving us around. And
Cool.
but we've played in Germany quite a bit. It's actually one of our favorite places to play. They really freak out for some good old heavy
Yeah.
rock and blues. So
Yeah, I wanted to ask in Europe, like, how is their reaction to this style of music? I feel like techno's really big over there, and
they love
Oh.
blues too, though.
Yeah.
They really do. There's been a long history of the blues and rock and roll going over to Europe, and
yeah,
it's sort of one of America's greatest exports is blues and rock and roll music, and so I think people just hear that there's an American band in town playing rock and roll, and they just
they
show
get
up, and
excited. Yeah.
we never know what to expect, but somehow we made it happen. And
Well, we have our last two albums were out on a French record label based out
Oh.
of Paris.
Oh,
So we've played in France pretty much everywhere.
where did you record exactly for the
Oh,
last album? For
The
example,
last album, we actually recorded that at our house.
Oh wow.
And then we had
I'm
it
gonna
mixed.
show the camera.
Yeah, we had it mixed in
the album's called
Syracuse.
Devil on TV.
Their newest album.
That's it.
But there are some snippets.
No. Well, there was a couple
We had
cassette tape recorders
oh, yeah,
going.
we had
yeah.
tape going.
Yeah.
But there's some sound clips from Amsterdam and Belgium on there that you might be able to find.
The European police sirens.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, French sirens
Yeah,
are very
those
cool.
sound different
They do.
actually. Yeah.
So we try and get little sound clips wherever we're, exploring.
Cool.
And the crowds over there are fantastic. People go nuts. It's awesome.
I
we
can't
have,
wait
we have a
to
blast.
Yeah.
We're
to
going back
listen to
to Belgium in August.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So because Rick couldn't be here, he wanted to ask if you guys would be willing to play a song. I don't know if you can because he said something about residual rights. I don't know
Let's see
what that
happens.
is, but Mean Town Blues.
Oh, Mean
is that
Town Blues.
possible?
I'll have to tune up, but
Okay,
it is possible.
Okay, if it's too much of a...
It's in a funky tuning, but ask Nick a couple more questions and I'll get it down.
What to ask you? I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta think
I know what I want to ask you. When did you graduate from UConn?
When did I graduate from UConn? I graduated in 2012.
All right, so you are a year before me, right?
Cool. Yeah, finance major, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, I finance, accounting, and psychology, and I was on the marching band, and
That's great.
so I do all of our accounting, and
Well, at least you have that.
I built our studio, and that's how we recorded all our stuff. And when we started playing, 200 shows a year, we decided that there was no more finance that needed to be done in the real world.
So you guys are, this is like your full-time job. Your band is your full-time job.
Yeah.
That's
Balkun
sweet.
Brothers, LLC. Yeah, we play rock and roll, original rock and roll all over the world for a living with our sibling.
That's great.
So it's cool.
Could you have ever imagined this when you were a kid growing up?
I couldn't have imagined this 5 years ago. So as a kid, I wish somebody had told me because I think I would have prepared a little bit more. But yeah, no, we just jammed a lot, and our parents always encouraged us. And
were your parents really into classic rock? Like, did you grow up really listening to that, or did you?
Yeah. As Steve was saying, Led Zeppelin and the Doors, and our parents really liked like Bruce Springsteen and Queen and Phil Collins and all that, but lots of good music throughout our house. And we always had our older brother Mark. There is a third brother.
Okay.
And he got us into Nirvana and Red Hot Chili Peppers and Foo Fighters and all that. So we kind of mixed grunge and classic rock and blues and hip hop too. We listened to a lot of hip hop when we were growing up. So it all finds its way in there, and our family always, gave us some good stuff to look at.
Yeah. Okay, so we're in the next part of our show where they're going to play 4 more songs. Meantown Blues will be the next one, I guess. And after that, we'll close it up. But, we'll take it from there. Thanks.
Alrighty.
All right.
This is a little thing written by the great Johnny Winter. It's called Meantown Blues. Ready there, brother?
One, two, three, ah! Told me my father told me my father told me to. Yeah. Well, mama, she done told me my father done told me my father told me to. Ain't no time to live in by yourself. By yourself. Well, I worked for $1 and I couldn't save a lousy, could not save a dime. Oh no. I worked for $1 and I couldn't save a lousy, could not save a dime. Nobody worried, nobody crying. Nobody's crying. Oh no. Woo. my suitcase, I'll hit it down, yes, I'll hit down Lonesome Road. I packed up my suitcase and I hit it down, yes, I hit down Lonesome Road. Try to make him when the day is done. Thank you. So high, so low. Everything that you do be on my mind, yeah. With a green dress and your fire burning all the time. Get me high and you bring me down low. Down low, oh, so low, like I'm down on the floor. Baby, I see it in your eyes. You're standing on the banners of the people. Can you hear their cries? Can I get peace for me? Can I get peace for free? Can I get peace for me? Lady of Liberty. Well, you get me high and you bring me down low. Down low, so low, like I'm down on the floor. low. Low like I'm down on the floor. Oh, thank you.
That's a new tune off our brand new album. Our new album's called Devil on TV. And that one's called So High, So Low.
Yes, sir. You a little funky? A little funky funk? Let's get funky.
A little funky funk?
City. Oh, walking down the street now, looking so pretty. Oh, I'm a little lady, roll off to New York City, looking so pretty. Need your love right now, baby. Gonna love anyhow now. Yeah. I know I just need your touch. Oh, come on, give it to me, yeah. Give it to me. I need that touch right now. Yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Need that love right now, baby. Wanna know anyhow. Yeah. A little drum, man. Okay, drummer. Need your love, want your love. I need your love, I want your love. I need your love, I want your love, I need a love. Your love, give me some, yeah. Give it to me, yeah. Give it to me. I need your love right now. Need your love right now, baby. Want your love anyhow.
called I Need Love. All right, I'm done singing. I got nothing left, man. You can sing.
Please give it up for my brother Steve on the fancy baritone guitar. And those are some fine sunglasses. I wonder where he got those.
Hey, man. I got a
Looking
dealer.
good, dude.
Give it up for my little brother Nick on the Jolly Green drum set. All right. Which one you want to sing?
You want to do Rage Against the Machine first? Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, no, I got to sing
whatever
that
you
one.
want to
Let's
play. Before we play this one, I'm going to tell a little story. Last time I was here, this is a very, very good record store because last time I was here, they had a children's book written by Jack White, limited edition, and my older brother Mark just had 2 children the last couple of years, so I needed a gift for Christmas. I got him the Jack White children's book of We're Gonna Be Friends. And that is a shout out to the Telegraph for being a high quality record store and for having us.
Having the goods.
And I see they got the new Jack White up front too, so I might have to grab that on the way out. Anywho. Mexico. Her hair, what a chump in my head, got a bump when I hit it on the radio. Redhead senorita looking dead, came to said I need a bed in Espanol. So I gave a drink of water, gonna sing around the collar and I don't need a microphone. I was ready to go. Yeah, swept us out the hair. She had one white eye, one blank stare, looking up, lying there. All the stand in the hair was a candy, black rum, sugar cane, dry eyes. Let me say, la 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 la. Why don't you kick yourself out? You're an immigrant too. Who's choosing who? What shall we do? But you can't be a pimp and a prostitute too. Around and there was nobody else. Left alone, I hit myself with a stone, went home and learned how to clean up after myself.
wish people watching on their computers could see how much fun some people in the audience are having. Like at one point there was a guy like doing this like stare thing. And we have this guy here. He's like pretending he's playing the drums the whole time. So you guys are pretty fun. I definitely enjoyed it.
Thank you. Merci.
Okay. Well, I guess this is the time where you can tell people where you're touring next, where to find you, where to see you, where to listen to you, all of that. I want you guys to come back to New London soon, though. Like, seriously.
Yeah, New London's always been great to us. We had a lot of great opportunities actually come from New London. I think we got signed to a record label because of New London.
That was
Really?
yeah.
That's the sequence of
That's
events.
pretty
Yeah,
cool.
everyone asks, so how did you guys go to France? New London.
New London.
Our gig,
It
we used to
hap-
play over at Hannafin's, and we had played there a lot.
One thing led to another.
So where are you playing next? Where can people?
Next, we will be playing. What do we got coming up? I think we're going to Pennsylvania. We're playing in Pennsylvania. We're playing up at UConn. We're playing in. Oh, all right. Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. We're playing up in Portland, Maine on April 20th with Quinn Sullivan.
Playing in Rochester, New York.
Yep.
All right.
I think the next time we're doing a big show in Connecticut is in Norwich
Oh,
at
cool.
the Strange Brew
Rose Arts Festival.
Rose Arts Music Festival.
Yep.
But
When is
we'll
that?
we'll
June?
that's June. I want
Yeah.
to say 30th or something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
So in a couple months.
But our website is balkunbrothers.com. You can get all of our albums there, and facebook.com/balkunbrothers. Twitter, Instagram, we're there. We're everywhere you can find us, Spotify, iTunes. Or you can just come on down to the live show and get yourself a mouthful of Balkan nonsense.
Okay, so next week we are going to have Jesse Kinch, who won first place on CBS's Rising Star Talent Competition. So either tune in for that or come watch that. I think that's it for the whole show, and I want to thank Rich Martin and the Telegraph, and you can find this at theday.com if you missed the live stream. So feel free to go back and watch that, and I think that's it. So thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right.